It's Trial Tuesday. Once again, the holidays are right around the corner. Today, we're talking about staying safe out on the roadways this holiday season. An Elvis enthusiast and a man who's sure to set off a disco inferno himself, the King, attorney David Aylor, here to weigh in for us. So, Counselor, tell us about the things that we need to know. Obviously, there's so much traffic. There's so many more cars because everybody's trying to get to where they're going on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's also going to be a lot more police out there. So if you're in a hurry, you better, you need to really watch yourself because there's going to be a lot of highway patrolmen, different things like that, particularly on the highway, local sheriff's department, that sort of thing, because you have so many accidents around the holidays, but particularly around Thanksgiving weekend.
We'll talk about drunk driving in just a minute, but what else are those police officers, those sheriff's deputies looking for?
Well, they're going to be obviously looking for speeders, but beyond that, you're going to be, they're going to be out there looking for people that are inattentive. Obviously, we've heard about text messaging, things like that, various things on your smartphone. They'll absolutely be looking for people that are being reckless or careless when they're driving because they're paying attention to other things in the vehicle.
Absolutely. Well, let's get back to that drinking and driving issue right now. The holidays, it seems to be a kind of a theme that we see each and every year. People go over to another person's house and vibe a little too much, then they get behind the wheel. Obviously, we want to tell them not to do that, but if they do find themselves into that situation, what do they need to do once they see those blue lights go on?
Well, first thing you want to do is you want to cooperate with the police to the fullest. Now, that does not mean that you, here in South Carolina at least, have to take the field side sobriety test, which is the one you see on the roadside. That is actually your choice, as well as taking the breathalyzer test. But what's really important is, in these situations when people are going to holiday parties, it's better just to try to go ahead and set up a situation where you cannot drive, because unfortunately, a lot of people that go out to holiday parties maybe don't go out that often during the year, so they may misjudge the amount of alcohol that they really should intake and then get behind the wheel. Those are the type of DUIs I often see.
Another thing that we probably haven't discussed is a lot of people come home from colleges or jobs, come back and see their families, and that's kind of a lot of reconnecting with old friends during the holiday season, especially Thanksgiving. And then a lot of people get into trouble because they go out and they see those old friends that they knew in high school or in college. Right. They go out to a bar and try and stay there, and then everybody kind of gets together and has a couple of drinks. That's got to be another leading factor too.
Exactly. I mean, it's a celebratory time for obvious reasons, not just with friends, but like you said, family that comes in from out of town, friends that come in from out of town. And so wherever you may go, if you're out socially, a lot of times it can get maybe a little turned up a notch more than it normally would. And again, that just comes back to sort of preparing for that. If you're planning on going out with a good group of people you haven't seen in a while, you're planning on drinking, it's best just to go ahead, better be safe than sorry, and get a cab set up, get a driver, make sure somebody's coming that isn't going to drink, because in the end, you may get past that point and not really realize that you've now gone over the limit, and then you get behind the wheel, and it really could ruin your holidays.
Absolutely. Let me give you a hypothetical right now. Let's say that you are pulled over under the presumption of driving under the influence, but you haven't. Maybe you took some medicine to try and help you sleep or digest, or maybe you're just feeling pretty sleepy from the turkey and you might swerve a little bit because you're a little tired.
Right.
But what do you want to do in that situation, the police officer? Do you want to try and explain to him right there or her right there that you have not indeed been drinking?
Well, I mean, that's all going to depend on what the exact circumstances are. Obviously, anything you say to the police officer could ultimately be used against you as evidence. So when people try to explain things away or make up excuses that maybe become lies, that can be an issue. But, you really just want to be careful with whatever you do say, because if, in fact, later it's used against you, that's something you're probably going to regret.
Absolutely. And we want to keep you guys informed, obviously, that we give you these messages because there are going to be more police out there and they are going to be looking. But the main thing is that they're trying to keep you safe just as much as this public service announcement right now.
Absolutely. Hopefully everybody will have a safe, great Thanksgiving.
Indeed. Well, I hope you have one as well, Counselor. Thank you so
Dan.
much for being here. And we got much more Low Country Live coming up after the break, so make sure you stay with us.